Good morning to all of you. Today we discuss about that engineering economics. So engineering economics, the subject is our audit course which are introduced to your syllabus. And this engineering economics, uh, in this engineering economics, we start with this introduction of this engineering economics. So engineering economics is a subset of economics which are applied to the engineering problems. So in engineering problems or engineering project, to this engineering projects we apply this techniques of this economics, and we have tried to assess the feasibility of that particular project, and also we can estimate that project by assessing their feasibility and estimating their values of that particular project. We can think another project, or we can try to give alternative of that particular projects, or we can think in different way how we can reduce that cost of that particular projects. So engineering economics is a economic techniques which are applicable to the engineering projects. So by applying these techniques to the engineering project, we can reduce that cost of that particular project, and we can increase the economy of that particular firm by reducing that particular cost. So it is a subset of that economics which are applicable to the engineering problems, and we can reduce that cost of that particular engineering project. So these uh, techniques, in these techniques, now we can three topics. These are related to three topics which are again related to the economy of that particular firm. So these topics are the management economy, economics of that management, particular management. Economics we can achieve through the operations. Economy we can achieve to firm growth and firm profitability. Also, this economics is related to the what are the trends and issues that we observe for that particular firm. Economic trends and issues are observed for that particular firm. Again, we can relate this economics to the products of that particular firm. What are the market available for the product of that particular firm, and what another influence factors which affect that market of that particular product. So again, influencing factor is another point. So again, we can correlate this with the development and marketing of that particular product, and also to this product we can use new technology which will reduce that particular cost of that product. So these four topics or 4 points are related to this engineering economics. We can study it in the next topics. So we can now introduce a concept of efficiency. So efficiency is nothing but the output divided by input. So in engineering we can see that efficiency is nothing but the output divided by input. So how we can get maximum output with the minimum input, that we can correlate as a efficiency, or that we can say that as a efficiency. So by minimizing that resources, internal resources in terms of manpower, material, or fuel, or another internal resources, we can achieve maximum output in terms of products or in terms of services that given by that particular firm. So in this efficiency term, we can maximize that particular amount of work output with minimizing input resources, maybe in terms of manpower, or maybe in terms of the another resources, maybe it labor causes, or maybe fuel, or cost of that particular raw material. So this efficient economy, we require for efficient economy these three factors again influence that particular efficiency, that are the maximum employability, again maximum output of that product and services, and flow of currency, that also affect that efficiency. So this is the concept of efficiency which are similar to the engineering efficiency, but here we relate to the product and the resources that are used to obtain that particular product. So again we correlate, or again we differentiate this efficiency, or we can put this efficiency as in terms of static efficiency. So in static efficiency, we can measure at a particular point of time. At that particular time, what will be the output, what will be the internal resources, we can correlate this, and that will be nothing but the static efficiency. That again we can differentiate into the allocative efficiency and production efficiency, that we can again correlate as a allocative efficiency and production efficiency. So allocative efficiency, that are when the price of that particular product or cost of that particular product, cost and price of that particular product are equal to each other. It means whatever the price of that particular product and whatever that cost to prepare that product or prepare that service, that are equal, then we can say that it is a allocative efficiency. In this case, economy welfare is maximized. And in another case, it is a production efficiency. In this, output is produced with a minimum internal resources or minimum average total cost. So to achieve this, we can reduce that wastage of that resources in the production process. So in this, to achieve this production efficiency, we minimize that wastage of resources in production process. So we can define this efficiency in terms of static efficiency at particular time. Again, these are separate out in two terms, as allocative efficiency and the production efficiency. So there are two efficiencies. So these two efficiency, again there is another term we generally heard, that are the demand and supply. So demand and supply, again these are the inversely proportional. Demand and supply, according to the we can correlate this demand and supply. So there is a demand of that quantity of that good or service that consumers are willing and able to buy at a given price in given period of time. So demand, that consumer willingness to buy a particular product at that particular time is nothing but a demand of that particular product. So beside of this real demand, there is some latent demand is also. Here latent demand is nothing but it is willingness of that consumer to buy that product, but consumer cannot have that buying capability or purchasing power. So in that case, it is called as a latent demand. So demand is the willingness of the customer to buy that particular product with certain price at particular period of time. So again it is a function of price. Again it is a function of price and supply. So this is shown in this graph. As the supply increases, price reduces. As the supply or quantity increases, price reduces. Again, as the supply decreases or quantity reduces, that price increases. So we can observe this. Demand curve reflecting this law of the demand. This demand curve we can plot like this. So it is in a decreasing nature, and from Q1, Q3, Q2 are the quantities, and P1, P2, P3 are the prices. So here, as the price of the good or services falls, that quantity of the demand is rises, and again it is vice versa. As price reduces, that willingness to purchase that particular quantity increases, and again that below figures also show that variation of the price with this quantity. So P denote that price and Q denote that quantity. So here we can observe this. So in another word we can say that as price reduces, demand increases due to the two reasons. Again, this demand influenced by the two factors that are nothing but the increasing ability to the purchase and substitution effect. Increasing ability and substitution effect. As the purchasing ability increases, it means we have more purchasing power. So in that case, that demand may be shifted toward the right side of that particular curve, or the demand may be shifted toward the left side of the particular curve. Similarly, substitution effect is also there. Substitution effect also there. As the price increases, people think about that substitution of that particular product. Again, it shifts that particular demand curve toward the right side or toward the left side. So that demand curve influenced by these 2 points or 2 factors, which are nothing but the purchase ability and the substitution effect of that particular product. So this will be observed in this particular figure. So in this particular figure, we will observe that this demand curve D1 is shifted toward the D3 towards right, and demand curve D1 is shifted toward the left as a D2. So D1 demand curve shifted to the right, or D1 curve shifted to the left according to that purchasing power and according to that substitution effect. So these are some examples, or these are some points of high shifting toward the D1 to D3. So it increases the demand at the same price. So when we curve shifted from D1 to D3, it increases the demand with that same price, increase the demand at the same price. Curve, here we can observe that. Increasing in demand with that same price. When curve D1 shifted toward the D2, decrease in demand with that same price. Decrease in demand at the same price. You can observe here. D1 to D2 decrease in demand with that same price. With that same price. So shifting of that curve according to the price and according to the substitution effect. So there are some determinants which are affect towards the demand. And these particular determinants or factors which affect the demands are nothing but are categorized as a taste and fashion, populations. These are categorized as taste and fashions, populations, income, price of substitution, and expectation of the future pricings. So these are the 5 determinants we can plot out. Which affect that particular demand. So this taste and fashion. So taste and fashion of that particular consumer, it changes by means of the advertising. So by the means of that advertising, we can shift the demand curve outward side. It changes the taste and preference of that particular customer. And will shift this demand curve toward the outward side. Again, by advertising that are increase in hot weather, usually increase the demand for that ice cream and cold drinks. And also in fashionable wears, that advertising also affect and change that demand curve toward the outward side. So taste and fashion affect the demand. And that taste and fashion again we can influence environments of that advertising. Second point is the population. So group of population. Suppose that lower age group in that population have a large